Hi, I'm Fiona Fernandez of By Fee Handcrafts, and today I'm going to show you how to start a granny square. So I start with a slip knot. Now I'm doing this left-handed. I am normally left-handed. I can do a little bit right-handed, which I've done a couple of videos. The first two doing chain and then double crochet. I did them both left and right-handed. But for the granny square, I'm doing this one left-handed. So I put a slip knot together. So I've got my working yarn in this hand and the tail in this hand. I always leave a bit of a tail so that I've got enough to sew in. I turn a loop over the top of my working yarn and then I flip the loop over it again and pull up the working yarn. So your working yarn is the slip of the knot. And I pop that on my hook. And then we're going to crochet. So we're going to do 6 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I move my fingers up the chain as I go. 5, 6, and then we're going to go into the first chain to join. And we're going to do a slip stitch. So slip through there, and that's our slip stitch, and it joins it together. And then we're going to go 3 chain. 1, 2, 3, and that gives me my first stitch. So I'm going to count that as a stitch. And now we're going to do the treble stitch. We go yarn over to get to on our hook through the center hole space and then draw up a loop. Keep this tail bit down here next to it. I've got the tail running across the top there. Yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 2, and we've got our first treble. I'm using the UK terms for the names of the stitches. We're going to do another treble because we want 3 in there. Yarn over, go through the space in the middle, draw up a loop, and go through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We've got 3. So I'm counting the chain as my stitch. And now we're going to do the corner. So it's 2 chain, 1, 2, and just stop and pull it to shape. Keep that tail over the top of there. I'm going to keep that going around there. Just keep your yarn coming off your ball easily. So I've actually popped it into a bowl on the floor like this, so that when I pull the yarn off the ball, it just sort of flips around like that. You want to keep your yarn coming smoothly off there. Get your yarn back on your hand. So I showed you how to do all this in my first videos. And then we're going to do 3 treble, yarn over, go through the center, draw up a loop, hold the tail down there so it doesn't get knotted up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go through the middle loop, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And just have a look at it. So that little bit there is our corner. Another treble, yarn over, okay, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So if you're doing it right-handed, you'll just be going that way. It'll be going the opposite way to me. It's still the same terminology though. 2 chain, 1, 2 for our corner. Turn it around so we can see what we've got here. Keep that tail on there. Yarn over, go through this middle, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to do 2 more of those. Yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I do tend to get a bit of a rhythm going once I get going. I'm doing it slower for you today, but I always bring it back to the, getting it centered and holding it straight, because I think that's really important to see your work and see what you're doing. And just to double check your stitching, make sure you've got the numbers in the corners, so we're going to do corner 1, 2 chain, pull up a bit of more yarn off the floor there. It's not on the floor, it's in the bowl. Okay, keep that tail in there, yarn over, draw up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, go through the middle, draw up a loop, go through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go through the center, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've got our 3 trebles into the same space. Now we need 2 more chains on the corner, and that's our corner. So this is where we started. You can tell where you started because the 3 chain, you can put markers in there if you need to, but I see the 3 chain is where I started, and that doesn't move. All the trebles on it will move around, so if you get a bit confused, just push them around a little bit and go, this is the one that's not moving, and that's where I've got to go. So we're going to go into the top of our 3 chain, first 3 chain. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go into the top of that. I'll come up a bit closer to the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3. I want to go into that piece there, and it actually ends up with 2 bits of yarn over my hook like that. I'll show you again. So that's my first treble. So I did 3 chain and then I did a treble. So the top of the treble stitch looks like that. That's the top of the treble. So you can look at the top and see the treble there and the other treble. This one here is my first chain, the 3rd chain, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go into the top of the chain and draw up a loop and pull the loop right through that. Let's just undo it and do that one more time. So I've got 2 chain, and if you ever get stuck and not sure where you're up to, it's better just to pull it undone a little bit and go back to where you know. So if you look at this and go, oh, did I do 1 or 2 chain? Don't worry about it. Just pull it out, and if you look at it carefully, there's 1, there's 2. Oh, I did do 2. Okay, and go back and do it again, because it's better to check as you go. So I'll do 2 chain, and we'll do that corner again. Okay, so we've got our 3 chain, 1, 2, 3. And I go in the top of that, pull it through there, and then we're going to slide it through there, and that's our slip stitch. Right, and then I'm going to do 3 chain, 1, 2, 3, to give me the next row. I'm going to turn my work, and then I'm going to do a treble. So we're going to be going into, let's get this all sitting right, seated right. Okay, so if you have a look at it, I'll put it down for a minute. You've got your corner, don't worry about that tail, the corner and the corner and the corner. Can you see that? So this was our very first chains, so they're sort of stuck onto that piece there. We're going to do our 3 chain up here, and now we're going to go into this corner, and we're going to do another corner. So we treble, yarn over, pull up a loop through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, through 2, I'll just go a little bit faster, but you can always put me on hold. 2 chain in the corner, and then we go another treble. We want another 3 treble. And I've got a knot in my yarn. That happens sometimes. That's because I had too much pulled off the ball. Just undo it. Okay, yarn over, pull up a loop, through 2, through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, through 2, through 2. So there's our first corner on our next row, like that. So for this one, I'm doing it like this to show you with the join here, and as you work through your work, the join will shift along a bit and it'll stay sort of on top of this one, but as it grows you'll see what happens. Sometimes I do my corners with this piece in the middle, but this piece here looks a little bit more over the top of each other, so I'm doing it this way today. Right, so now I'm not doing any chain in between my clusters. I'm going into the next corner and doing another corner. So we just keep doing our trebles. Through 2, through 2. Draw up a loop. Through 2, through 2. Now, even when I get faster, I still tend to stop and do my positioning. So just might look like people go really fast, but if you slow it down, I do like to get the form of the stitch. So as I'm doing this, I'm using my tension here, my tension of holding this and pulling on the hook to get my stitch size, and using that hook to go all the way through. Yarn over, draw up, through 2, through, whoops, whoops, see, that still happens. Just pop them back on. Through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, through 2, through 2. So that's a corner. Now we're going to do the next corner. Let's have a bit of silent crochet for a moment. Oops, maybe not. 2 chain in the corner, 3 more trebles. If you forgot where I'm up to, we're doing yarn over, draw up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. It's starting to look very nice. And now we're going to go to the next corner. So it can get a bit confusing when you look at that, but if you get confused, just lay it down on the table, have a look at it, pull out the corners so you can see them all. So we've got a corner here, and a corner there. We need one here. And I've kept that nice and big so you can see it. Right, so my yarn is now needs to be pulled off, so I'll pull a bit off the ball and put it on the table there. Right, we've got 3 trebles. We go 1, 2 for our corner chain, and now we want 3 more trebles. 1, we go through 2 and through 2. Yarn over into the hole, pull up a loop, through 2, through 2. So we've got our 3, and we've got 3 here because that's where we started. So now we're going to go into the top of those 3 chains. Can you see that? Make sure you can see that. Stand up for a minute. Okay, so we're slip stitching here, slip stitch. So slip stitch slips through the stitches whenever it tells you to do a slip stitch. Right, I'm going to do one more row and then I can show you what I can do with this piece if we want to. So I'm going to do 3 chain up, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to turn my work, and then we're going to yarn over into that space there, pull up a loop, through 2, through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, through 2, through 2. Now that's going to be in the center of that, see? So that's okay. And now as we grow, we'll be having center sections like this. Middle, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure what to call that. The middle piece. Okay, so we're going into this corner now. So we yarn over into that corner space, pull up a loop, through 2, yarn over, through 2. We're going to do 3 of those. Let's do 3 more treble, 2 more, 1 more. And now we're going to do 2 chain in the corner. Pull up your yarn so you've got enough sitting there. And now we're going around the corner. So yarn over into the same space, corner space. Pull through 2, pull through 2. Yarn over into that space, draw up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And again. Through 2, pull through 2. No chains in the middles. We only do chains on the corners. If you're making other things, you can certainly change this up as you go, but for this video I'm just doing chains in the corners. Some people do chains between things. So we're going now into this space between these 2 corners. So we're into that space there, and we're doing 3 trebles into the same space. Right, and now we're going to go into this corner. So have a good look at it again on the table. Stretch it out, make it square. That's the corner. So you can get a bit lost in all the holes, but if you look at the formation of your stitches, sorry about that, you can see your 3 trebles here like this, 2 chain and 3 trebles, so you know that's a corner because they're all in the same hole, whereas these ones are only 3 into a hole. So if you've only got 3, you're on the side of the piece. If you've got 6 in there, you're on a corner. You'll see it better once you get bigger, but at the beginning it can be a little bit daunting when you're first starting out. So yarn over into that space, draw up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Just remind you of that every now and again, in case you forget. 1, 2, and we're going to go back into that same space for the corner because we're doing a corner. Yarn over, draw up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. Yarn over, draw up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. So hopefully by now you're getting the hang of it. I'll just keep going around to the other side. Yarn over, draw out your loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. Right, now we're going into this corner here. Same thing, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Yarn over, draw out your loop, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Another one. Now we want the corner, so we're going to do 2 chains, and we're going to go back into the same hole and do 3 more trebles. get in there, look. We've got another corner. And now we're into the center space. But it won't be the center. The next row will have 2 of those. So it just keeps growing every row you go. So you just work along your sides. And then once you get to the corner, you do the 3, 2 chain and 3. Just going to pull my yarn up a bit. Right, we're into a corner here. Yarn over into the corner, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. I hope I'm still on camera. Trying to stay in this spot here. Yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Look at that, we're almost done for this row. It's so pretty, this yarn, I love it. 1, 2, chain in the corner. I've got a lot of things in my room this colour. I love it. Pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over into the hole, draw up a loop, yarn through 2, through 2. This is our last one for the corner, so you can see our corner. It's looking very nice, and we're back to the beginning where we started. So you can see that the join is coming up. It'll end up in the middle of your work, so that's fine. And just make sure you go into the top of that chain. You want to be in the top of the 3. So if you go into the top of the 3, it looks like just another stitch when you're looking at it from the top. You're into the top of that. Let me take the hook out for a second. See how you can see that stitch there? And it just looks like one of the other stitches. So we've got our square, and we could just keep going. So basically you just keep going. So you do your 3 chain up, turn your work, and then you go straight back into that hole under it. So we'll just do that just for the exercise for you. We go 1, 2, 3, chain up, and again, if you get lost, especially when it's, you know, different colors and stuff like that, you've got your 3 chain with it, which is attached, whereas the other 2 are loose. So keep your eye on that. If you go, oh, where am I? Which way am I going? Like, have I turned it already? So I'm left-handed, so I'm coming around this way. So my join is to the top of my 3 chain. So I know that if I keep going now, where do I, you know, if I don't turn it, where am I going? But because I want to go into this hole here, I turn it. And then I'm going to go, it's natural to go into that hole. I think it helps if you understand how the stitches are being formed and what's where. For me, that's how I learn and how it makes sense to me. So I look at the picture and go, I need 2 more next to that before I can go to the next corner. So if you're right-handed, it'll be coming the opposite way around. And the other thing you can notice before you turn your work is the way this row is sitting and what it looks like. So see this piece here? This looks very textured like that. If I turn my work, it's actually looking sort of rounder. I'll bring that up. So before I turn it, it's got that shape to it, and once I've turned it, it looks like it's rounder, and it sort of sits rounder. See how it's sitting? That sort of sits up a little bit. Once I've turned my work, it's sitting down a bit. And that's the other way you know you've turned your work. Okay, so for that next row, then you're just going straight into that hole there. into that one, and then you're into the next corner. So the other thing I was going to tell you is with this centerpiece here, if you like, I don't mind the look of that because the hole actually looks very similar to the other holes, but because I kept that tail all the way around, I can then pull it a bit tighter if I want to pull that in. So magic circles are something people use to crochet when they want to do really small, tight, and you can pull it in and make it so you can't even see it. You could actually do that with this because I've gone around, but you can also use it just to adjust that hole size to where you want it. I think I'll leave it like that, and then when I stitch it in, I like to use a darning needle and I sew my tails in, and I'll do another video about sewing tails in another day, but basically you just go through a few pieces and then I go back through it as well, so that you get a bit of back and forward securing of the stitch. And it also, because you're using a needle, it goes through the yarn a little bit better and it just holds it a little bit better. So I like to do that for my work. I do sell my work as well, so I like it to stay secure. So that's it for today with my little square. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you've got any questions, just pop them in the comments or email me, contact me through my social media pages. That's fine. I'll catch you next time. Ciao.